I think it's incredible. I think it's a world-class theatre, and I think it's so important that a space like this exists in our community. It's a public space, it's accessible, and as a kid who grew up in the area and went to a public school and didn't have access to a theatre like this, I can't help but imagine how different my experience with the theatre would have been and how valuable that would have been. I also think about the incredible artists from outside the local area that this theatre will attract, because it really is a world-class space. And I know that there are professional theatre artists from all over this country who would love to perform there, and that's an incredible asset to the community as well. The first thing that popped into my head was new Australian work, new local work. The incredible thing about theatre is that it's accessible. It's a medium via which you can get important stories, and stories that are particularly important to the community, which I think is why this theatre is so important. And I just think that these new works have the potential to be developed from start to finish at a venue like this. There's a rehearsal space, and how cool to be able to rehearse a work in the venue in which you're eventually going to perform it. There's that smaller theatre space where I can envision new works having readings of their new works before graduating to the larger theatres and larger theatre upstairs where they can be seen by a larger group of people. I'm also thinking about that amphitheatre space outside, and I'm just envisioning that as a play space. Previously, when Marian Street Theatre for Young People was there, and we would attract these beautiful young audiences, and I can just imagine those kids going outside to that amphitheatre and reenacting the scenes that they've seen in the theatre outside. I think it's a hub for imagination for young people and for the entire community. One of my favorite memories was when I was assistant stage managing on this show. And I recall this memory so fondly because I was incredibly bad at it. And I developed this appreciation for ASMs that has stuck with me my whole life. But I really think about this theatre space and how incredible it was that we would have the opportunity to act on stage, to be backstage doing things like stage managing or assistant stage managing, to have a go at the lights. I would work in the lighting booth sometimes. And now, having started my professional career, I have this leg up that I think a lot of my peers don't. Because I've had those foundations, when I go into a professional theatre, I really understand every job that every person is doing, and it makes me a better artist. I have no doubt that I fell in love with the theatre by going to this incredible theatre and seeing all of these different jobs and being able to experience them. And I'm so excited for the next generation to be able to do the same thing. This theatre is going to create a new generation of theatre makers, theatre lovers, and I think that is the most magical thing about Marian Street.
Please comment below if you're a friend of Marian Street Theatre. I know I am.